Hey there, I'm Eliza.
And I'm Dave.
And we're with Ancestral Evolution. And today we're talking about llamas.
Yeah.
In particular, why llamas make excellent guard animals. We've had a guard llama. His name is Banjo, and we've had him now for 6 years?
Yeah, about 6 years.
He's a pretty cool llama, I think.
He is the star of the neighborhood.
He is the star of the neighborhood.
Yeah, we get more questions about him than any of our sheep or anything else that we're doing. Everybody wants to, but often everyone confuses it with an alpaca. They do look similar, and most people, we didn't know this years ago what the difference really was. A llama, though, is about twice the size of an alpaca.
Yeah, they're much bigger. They're much bigger. If you see them side by side, it's like, oh.
Yeah, about double the weight,
Very
too.
different.
They're like a large pony.
Yeah.
Or something.
He's what, like 300? He's about 300 pounds, our llama.
Yeah.
But yeah, llamas were bred actually to be pack animals originally. They're from South America, sort of the Andes mountain region. And they were bred more to be pack animals and interact with humans, whereas alpacas were more bred for their fiber. And they were more a herd animal. So llamas are a lot more intelligent than alpacas.
Yeah, alpacas
are kind of dumb.
Yeah, they're the sheep. They're the sheep of the camelid family. So alpacas, llamas are camelids, and alpacas are basically the sheep. They hang around in groups. They're just bred for their fiber, at least historically. So they're not very bright. Versus llamas are actually pretty intelligent animals.
So these are the top 7 reasons that llamas make excellent guard animals. Number 1, llamas are way less expensive to own than, say, a Great Pyrenees or a guardian dog. They eat grass instead of dog food, so you don't have a dog food bill. They require a lot less in terms of veterinary care, although they do require some.
Yeah, so the cost is exponentially less when you start thinking about dog food over the course of, say 10 years feeding a Great Pyrenees or any other kind of guard dog, plus vet bills, regular stuff that you just have to do for any dog, whether it's a working dog or a pet. It's a giant difference. I mean, they eat grass, and if there's no grass, we feed them hay. So the exact
just the same as the sheep.
Yeah,
so
literally.
It's kind of
there's no
the
difference.
Same care.
Yeah, you don't have
more or less.
Yeah, the only slight difference is you do get a different type of minerals that they eat.
Yeah.
But they don't eat a lot of that.
Yeah, and the other thing is that a llama on average will live about 20 years. Whereas a Great Pyrenees is about 10 to 12 years. So almost double the lifespan.
All right, the number 2 reason llamas are a great guard animal is that they are very calm animals, generally speaking. Now, if you get an intact male, that may not be true, but intact males are not really good for guard animals. You want a gelded male, which snipped. Yeah, or a female, especially a female that has had
babies before.
Yeah, they
kind
make,
of like protective.
Yeah, they make the best guard animals, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And so it's also not an issue like if if you have neighbors and for whatever reason some kids get into the pasture. Well, a dog, even a Great Pyrenees, may or may not be aggressive towards a kid and could hurt them or whatever, and you've got that liability and that potential for something like that, versus llamas are just chill and they're just sort of like, humans, whatever, They're not, some llamas are friendly. Ours is probably typical from what we've been told anyway, in that they want to be at about arm's length.
Yeah.
You can get up to about arm's length, and once you're about to touch them, they're like, I don't know.
They'll kind of sidestep away.
Yeah,
like,
but they don't get mad. They don't do any, they just kind of like, I just,
Yeah.
you do
I
you.
prefer not to be touched.
Yeah.
I'll watch you from over here.
They're like some people's cats.
Yes.
I would say. But they're fine. But they're, you can catch one easy enough though when you need to. Like we have a barn. We just lure them in there with food, and we shut the barn door, and it's pretty simple. And once you've got them and you put the harness on them, they like, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
And they're fine.
At least ours is. I think most are.
Yeah.
If you have one that's really unruly, you might get spit at.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and people often worry about it. I've had a lot of people ask, does your llama ever spit on you? It has never spit on us ever. Again, it depends on the llama, it depends on their temperament.
Yeah.
But generally, the one time it almost did when we very first got it, I was trying to catch it out sort of in a field and I had cornered it into a pasture. And
He
it
was, like,
felt
feeling
threatened, and I
Yeah.
could hear the gurgling,
He was-
because the spit is more like vomit that they sort of upchuck from anyway. And I could see he was about, so I just got out of there.
Yeah, he started making a really funny noise in
Yeah,
his throat.
and
we're
had
like,
this and had that look of like, you know, you're about to get it, and I thought, okay, I know it's
leave well enough alone.
yeah. So I got
at
out
that
of there.
point.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was that.
But
Anyway,
that's the only time that's ever
yeah.
happened.
So yeah, number
So.
2, they're not really a threat to humans. They're generally have a good disposition, and they're chill, and you're just not going to have to worry about them.
Number 3 is llamas are naturally aggressive to canines and to foxes. So if you have trouble with dogs or coyotes or foxes in your area, these can be great guard animals. In fact, ours has stared down the neighbor's dogs multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
If the dogs get close to the fence, he'll come over and give them the look, and the dogs kind of go, okay,
Yeah.
and leave.
Yeah, yeah, and we even one time had a dog that had, I guess, escaped from someone, pretty big sized dog, and it was up, like, walking up and down the fence line, and Banjo, our llama, was right there staring at him like, you know, come on.
You'd better
Like,
not try anything.
And I think
funny,
the dog
dude.
kind of was like, ooh, okay. So, yeah, and they're funny too. Even skunks that have got in there, they've chased them off. They've chased off.
Yeah, no, I've seen him multiple times staring down a skunk. We've got a skunk that kind of comes around from time to time, and he's when the skunk's around, Banjo's keeping an eye on him, making sure he doesn't get in there.
So if a dog or coyote, canine type animal were to get in to and try to get after, you know, your sheep or whatever you have, so what llamas do is they essentially, so they will knock over the dog, coyote, whatever, and then raise up and come down on it, and actually, while it's flipped over, instantly disembowel it. And that's how they
kinda
kill them.
Split them.
Like literally split their guts open.
I mean,
we've
we've never
seen
actually
this.
seen this happen, but this is.
But it does
supposedly
happen, and a lot of people all over the world now, really, even in Europe and certainly out west, and obviously all over in South America, have llamas for guard animals, and this is not uncommon.
And there are lots of coyotes around
all
where
over
we
the
live.
place. Yeah.
We hear them all the time, and knock on wood, we have never had a coyote get into our fences or hurt a sheep.
Yeah, and we've never had a breach of our fences, like where they've dug under or done any kind of thing like that. And
no, we have a woven wire fence. They're like 4-inch squares.
like a sheep and goat fence.
Yeah, and
But-
we can talk about fencing more at a later date. But
Yeah, we've
But,
never
yeah,
had an
we
issue,
have never
and
had
we
an
have
issue.
lots of woods behind our house, and coyotes. I mean, I've seen coyotes like right there outside of the fencing, but they've never gotten in. We've never had an issue in for 6+ years
yeah,
with
so
this.
thank you, Banjo.
Yeah, yeah. Number 4 reason to get a llama for a guard animal is they don't challenge fencing, and so what that basically means is they're not going to try to escape. Generally speaking, once they get in an area and they know their boundaries, they're kind of like a horse for people that have had horses.
Yeah.
They know, okay,
They
this
respect, like,
this
this
is where the
fence
is.
is.
This is where I'm going.
Yeah.
They're not going to try to knock them over or do
or
anything
escape or climb over or
Yeah.
dig under it.
or any
Like,
of that kind of
okay.
thing. They pretty much are
Yeah.
good. And of course, even again, versus like say a Great Pyrenees, a dog, they can do that. They can try to get out, especially if they're in heat or if they're a male dog and there's another dog around and they get crazy.
Yeah.
And you just don't have that issue with these.
Yeah.
And of course, and as far as Great Pyrenees, the joke is, what do you call a Great Pyrenees out of the fence or off leash? Gone, because they see, for whatever reason. Often, I'm sure that's not always true, but a lot of times they will bolt.
They're on parole.
Yeah, right.
And
So-
their definition of their territory may not be the same definition
Yeah.
that you have.
It may be
So-
the whole state is their definition. So, according to them, if you could only ask them.
Number 5, llamas can give you some great fiber. So llamas have a similar fleece to an alpaca. It's slightly coarser than an alpaca, but it has a similar feel to it. And I love mixing it with wool and making woolly things. So this is the hat that I made for you. This is about 70% llama, 30% wool.
Yeah, from our llama, and
yeah.
our sheep.
But you get a fleece every year, which you don't get from a donkey or a dog. And it's an excellent fleece.
Yeah, and we've made a lot of hats and
Yeah.
lots of things, and yeah, because
it's soft and it's warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great to work with.
And being a large animal, when you shear them once a year, it's a large fleece, so you've got a lot of material to work with, and it's pretty soft. I mean, I would say it's softer than most sheep. And number 6 reason why llama is a good guard animal is that they will bond with your flock. So with a flock of sheep, goats, really whatever, as long as you only have one. If you get more than one llama, they will bond with the other llama.
They'll just be llama buddies, and
they'll kind of ignore everybody
in the cold.
else.
Say, screw you, sheep. I have a llama buddy.
Yeah.
But if the llama is just with the sheep, just one llama, then they kind of see the sheep as their herd.
And it's really cool because we've had lambs for 4 years now, and every year when the lambs are born, our llama Banjo is literally like a nanny or something. I mean, he's right there, and they know it. The lambs and the mothers of the lambs, the ewes, all gravitate around him even more than they normally do, and they'll literally.
He's very protective.
Yeah, he's very
protective.
Very
like tolerant of the
lambs. Yeah, like he will lay
lambs,
there,
like climbing on him.
Yeah, they're literally climbing on top of. I'm trying to get video of this one of these days. I had one picture one time. Maybe I'll find it. We'll put it in here.
Yeah.
But they literally climb, like he's laying out there sunning himself, and they're climbing on top of him and jumping on him, and he's just totally like, just like somebody would be with that likes kids, and the kids
toddler.
climbing, the toddlers climbing on you. It's really cute, and so they're great for that.
Yeah, and the moms will leave the babies leave their lambs with Banjo and be off way out in the field eating grass. And Banjo's the babysitter. He's like taking care of these lambs.
It's really it's
really
awesome.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, it's real cool.
And finally, number 7, llamas are cool.
Yeah, there's a big cool factor. Llamas are very popular these days for whatever reason. Like this year, we noticed
it's totally a weird thing.
Yeah, we noticed multiple people this year with Christmas sweaters with llamas on them. Like with llama Christmas stuff going on. I don't know why.
There's stuffed llamas all over the place.
Yeah,
there are llamas on
stuff.
pillows. There are llama socks.
Yeah.
So if you
lots of kids books, Llama Red Pajama. There's a whole series
that's
we have. It's hot right now in kids' world. Yeah, llamas are just cool. And again, he's the star of our neighborhood. A lot of people drive by our property, and more people ask us about the llama than any other thing. Yeah. It's always the topic of conversation. Oh, you're the people with. It's not you're the people with the sheep or the chickens or whatever. You're the people with the llama.
With the llama. Yeah.
And the kids, when they're walking by with their parents or running away, they'll stop and look, and if he's over close to the fence and all the time, and really just they love looking at the llama.
Yeah. He has almost caused several accidents where people have slowed down in the road so slow that people have come up behind them and
slammed on their brakes.
The brakes
I've seen
squealing.
it a couple times out there working. Yeah, I've seen some
It's a llama.
Near collisions.
Calm down.
Yeah, it's crazy, but they're very cool, and people just like them, and they're neat animals. Yeah. They really are.
So you can wear, if you have a llama, you can wear your Christmas llama sweater and not be a poser.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you have sheep or goats or cows or alpacas or poultry or something like that, and you are looking for a guard animal, you should consider a llama. So as always, if you like our stuff, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out our videos on Skillshare. We've got a bunch of good classes on there, and a class on sauerkraut that is coming out very soon.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out, and
All right. Well, see you next time.
Take care.